right, we are live now. Good evening, Vimbai Mutinhiri, and welcome to Live Chat with Josey. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Josey. It's a real pleasure to be part of this conversation with you.
It's been a long since I saw you. I don't know how many years back, but you are looking gorgeous.
Yeah, it's been a few years, definitely. Well, because you're always globe-trotting, and so am I. So
I'm not like you. Yeah, I'm not like you.
Girl, I don't know. I debate that. But you know what? It's just good that at least we can still connect via digital platforms.
Exactly. But you're looking so fantastic. What's the secret, Vimbai? What are you up to these days during the COVID-19 forced quarantine?
Post quarantine, you know what? To be honest, I gave up. Before I was like working out every day and trying to eat well, and then at some point I just gave up. So this is just me taking it each day. To be honest, yeah, work in progress.
But I follow you so much. I see you're drinking something green. What's that? Please share the secrets with me.
It's literally a spinach, pineapple, lemon, and what else is in it? And green apples. And I just juice it. I know that sounds great, but it's so good for your insides, I promise.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask for the recipe after the show, like for me to get it so right. But before we go deep into the we go deep into the discussion, I just want to say a huge congratulations. Vimbai, you recently got married.
Yes,
to my brother-in-law,
yes.
Mr. Ekwom, right? I got
Ekweom.
So,
Yes.
Ekweom. Okay, congratulations. I mean, you still did it and made it during the quarantine times.
Yeah, you know, we had to. We just felt like, you know, what are we waiting for? We don't know. It's like there's no end in sight to this. So you just ask yourself, how long are we going to wait for? Is it about a big wedding, or is it about, you know, getting married? So we just decided, you know, let's just go ahead with it. So yeah, I think we're just almost 2 months in now.
Okay, so you're waiting for the honeymoon, or how did you improvise the honeymoon part?
Yeah, we're waiting.
I mean, for you guys, it's honeymoon every day anyway.
I hope so.
All right, Vimbai. So it's a culture here on Live Chat with Josey that I'll ask you to introduce yourself. Who exactly is Vimbai Mutinhiri?
Oh, wow. I wasn't ready for that. Okay. Well, Vimbai Mutinhiri is a television host, a broadcaster, and an executive producer. I'm somebody who absolutely loves media, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to grow a wonderful career in this space, and now spending more of my time putting energy into women-oriented conversations, women-centric movements, and empowerment platforms.
Okay, Vimbai, you were born in Harare, but raised out of Zimbabwe, and you also graduated from University of Cape Town in honors degree in politics, philosophy, and economics. So why didn't you take up politics like after your parents?
I'm just not passionate about it, to be honest with you. I think you know, having been raised around it and getting to be exposed to it from a very early age, I thought when I was, you know, choosing something to study in school, because I am passionate about my history and about where I come from, I went into politics and philosophy, and then I just realized that, to be honest, it's not really where my calling is. I just found that the more I got exposed to other careers, specifically in media, the more I realized that that's more where my passion lies.
All right, and then you also participated in Big Brother Amplified in 2011. Can you take us back to that time? How was it for you?
That was almost a decade ago. It was a wonderful experience. It opened doors, definitely, for where I am today and what I'm doing today. So that was pretty much it. I mean, gosh, almost a decade ago, but really still grateful to the platform because it opened so many of the doors that I enjoy today.
Is that why you then decided to move to Nigeria after Big Brother
No, actually, I was working for MultiChoice, and they relocated me. My position was moved from Johannesburg to Lagos, so my job was moving, so I had to go with it. So that's pretty much why I moved. MultiChoice moved me here, and then I just decided to stay on.
How has it been for you in Nigeria?
I love it. It's been incredible. Obviously, it's home now. My husband is here. It's been a wonderful experience. I really love this country.
And the food, what's your favorite food, Nigerian food?
Oh, I have so many different, but I think definitely F4. F4 is definitely my number one, I think. Yeah.
Was it Efo is from which part of Nigeria?
F4, I think everybody eats it. I think it's originally Yoruba, but everybody has a take on it. So, for example, here in Calabar, there's you get afang soup, which is another vegetable-based soup. But I think F4 itself is Yoruba.
Oh, Eforiro. Yeah, you say Efo now because if you say Eforiro, then I remember.
Okay, we call it F4. Okay, well, yeah, shortcut F4.
Yeah. Okay, so Vimbai, our topic for today is focusing on women. I mean, learning from our experiences, like both you and I. But today it's all about you. We have a lot of women that look up to you, a lot of girls that look up to you. Um, what should people do, especially in these times of COVID-19? What encouragement, what advice can you give women and girls that look up to you, especially during these difficult times?
Yeah, I think there's so many things happening at the same time at the moment, from people's livelihoods being cut off, and there's also a spike in gender-based violence and femicide as well, brought on by various factors following the lockdown and various elements of COVID. So it's really difficult to sort of give broad-based advice because I think everybody is facing a different type of challenge. But the two challenges that I spoke of, and of course also there are women and girls who are stuck in environments where there may not be any abuse happening, but there may not be ideal environments, uncomfortable environments as well. So I think right now the one thing that is common to all of those groups of women is to, I think, is to make use of this period in the best way possible. Because initially, in the beginning, I think we all came in with a mentality of sort of pausing our lives because we didn't realize how long this was going to last. And now that we realize that this could, last a very significant amount of time, I think my message really is one about using whatever space we're in, whether it's an ugly space, negative space, using that space and just trying to grow the perseverance to break out of the space and to keep moving forward. I think is the biggest piece of advice I can give at the moment because wow, a lot of people are stuck in a lot of really nasty situations.
Great. And then our topic is actually about turning lessons into action. What is
Yeah.
that big lesson that you got, or what is it that you learned back then that you used into action that is actually contributing to your lifestyle today as we speak?
Gosh, I think, so many things contribute in different contexts, but certainly I think one of the biggest things is, the ability to adapt to a space or a situation for me has been the greatest life lesson that I've been able to use to navigate through life and to continue to scale forward and move forward. So, adaptation means and I always post this on my page, is that adaptation doesn't mean you're accepting that this is how things will always be, but adaptation is being able to say, okay, this is my current reality. Define for yourself that is not a permanent situation and continue to evolve yourself until you're out of that condition that you don't want to be in.
Okay, I will keep referring to some of the things that have happened in your life. I remember then when you were hosting Africa Magic Viewers Choice Awards. Then I think the maiden with IK. I follow you a lot on social media, and your expression was this was one of the biggest moments of your life. How was it then? And for people to get to that stage, what should they do as well?
Okay. So the AMVCAs was, career defining for me. I hosted it 3 years back to back, and, it's arguably one of the biggest live shows in Africa. And, for me, it was an opportunity to grow as a live host, because there are very few live hosts in Africa. And it was also an opportunity to be exposed to a new audience. So, what I take from that is I think those lessons of valuing platforms while you have them, and then figuring out how to use those platforms so that they're always relevant moving forward. So I'm really grateful for being able to execute the AMVCA so well that now, almost 5 years later, is it 5 years, 4 years later, people are still able to refer to that milestone in my life, and I still get calls, bookings for work because of it, because it was that impactful. So I think that that's the major lesson there is, whatever you're given, no matter how daunting or how scary it is, to just always approach it as though it's the opportunity that could change the course of your career forever.
That touched me so much, because I am one person also that actually turned down opportunities because I feel like, oh no, I can't do this. So that statement alone also spoke to me
Girl,
today.
don't,
Thank you.
you can do it. I know, Josey, I know you can do it. Stop saying no.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just need to hear that more often from people. But Vimbai, let's go back to, is it 15 or 18 years ago then, when your career started? Your career started at 15 years as an actress in Zimbabwe. Do you remember that short film, Who is in Charge?
I remember. How could I forget it? How could I forget it? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
Okay, so women. I know we're talking about women, but everybody is welcome to learn from you today. A 15-year-old is stuck at home now because obviously of COVID-19, and
Yeah.
there you started your career at 15 as
Yeah.
an actress. What advice can you give to our youngsters watching us right now?
When we're young, I think, parenting is evolving. And in our generation, I think our parents started being a little bit more flexible compared to how their parents were with them, where, you weren't allowed to try anything new. If you had free time, they would say use that time to study your books, to do your homework, to review, whatever they're teaching you in school. Whereas, coming to my generation, my parents, of course, would prefer that I spend most of my time studying, but they
Mm.
also understood that there are other career paths out there. So as long as they could, if I said, because I was always passionate about entertainment and things related. So for them, as long as they could come to the environment and check it out and just make sure that it was a safe place and the people were legitimate people, they allowed me to pursue some of my interests and my passions. So what I would say to a 15-year-old sitting at home right now is that I know it's often discouraging, because especially our African parents, a lot of them don't really understand, you know, exploring other career paths apart from being a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor, those ones. So I would say if there's something in your heart that you really feel is your talent, something you think you could be good at, then don't give up on it, on encouraging your parents to let you check it out. Invite them to be a part of it. Let them come and learn more. Share. Now everybody has more resources. Send links to them, whether it's sport or whatever it is. Send them links so they can see other young people doing it and flourishing from it. And then invite them in. If it's a play rehearsal or whatever it is, ask them to come and see so that they can understand that, because there is a lot of predatory behavior right now. So parents are right to be concerned about some of the activities that our young people want to get involved in. But it's now up to you to educate them and and advise them that, you know what, not every experience out there is predatory, not everybody out there is a criminal. There are some spaces where young people can be safe and creative and flourish, just like I was afforded the opportunity to do. So I think I just really thank my parents for letting me do it, to be honest, because if they'd said no, I wouldn't have been able to. So yeah.
That's powerful advice from you, Vimbai. I mean, you have done this, you have done that. You also played a lead role in the first ever soapie in Zimbabwe, Studio 263. Do you
Yes.
remember?
How can I forget? I could never forget Studio 263
Yes.
and Godwin Mauru, may his soul rest in peace. He was a visionary.
Yes, and Vimbai, I am still waiting to see you or to watch you in one of the Nollywood movies. What is happening? Girl, you can do it. Look, you started at 15.
You know, Nollywood is. I mean, you've spent a lot of time in Nigeria. You're Nigerian, basically. You may as well be Nigerian. And so you know that sometimes with some of the industries, they are not as structured as we would like for them to be. And for me, I just found acting in this part of the world a little bit too taxing. I found it really difficult to get used to, you know, the way that things are done here on movie sets. So I think I did 1 or 2 films, and after that, I just said to myself, you know what? I don't think I love acting this much.
Was it the kissing and the smooching?
No, you know, it wasn't even that. It was just that, you know, we don't have sets here. So you're normally shooting at someone's house. You know, there might not be provisions for transport or for meals or for, you know, the conditions, the work conditions aren't controlled and contained. So you're exposed to a lot of things on a Nollywood film set compared to in television. You know, us, we're TV people. We know that you get into your studio and it's a controlled environment. Exactly. It's very, very, very different when Nollywood is concerned. You know, you might be taken into the bush to shoot in the middle of nowhere. You might not have security. You might so many things, you know, that once I thought about them, I was like, you know what, I'm a little bit too far away from home for this.
Yeah, I think it's good for the Niger people.
Yeah.
Not
exactly.
for us. Yeah. Okay, and Vimbai, you also after Big Brother, then you were hosting Stargist. What happened to Stargist?
So Stargist got discontinued. Basically, we ran for 4 years. We were Africa's first daily entertainment news show that broadcast to the whole continent. So you can only imagine, as a daily show, I mean, in a year, we used to shoot and deliver 270 episodes. It was an extremely expensive project. So in the 4th year, there were some structural changes at MultiChoice, and unfortunately, the budget was no longer available to continue with the show. So we had to say goodbye.
Okay, Vimbai, right now people are stuck at home. I mean, this is all the time that we have. Are you also mentoring some girls, some women into media training or acting? I don't know. What are you doing in your spare time?
So what I'm doing at the moment is, because I found that as much as a lot of people reach out through social media and so forth, I found that sometimes we end up investing in people we've met on social media, but around us, there are people who need us. So, you know, I have a number of people who I've worked with over the past couple of years, young girls who are, you know, trying to figure themselves out, trying to get their big breaks and so forth. So I've been actively involved in a lot of their projects and just trying to get them set up. A lot of them are creating their own TV shows and so forth. So I've been there as, you know, as an advisor and as a mentor, just connecting people and giving them the knowledge that they need to move forward. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of that, but not on a large scale, just because I feel like there's so many people who are around me right now, and I think charity begins at home.
Okay, so these girls are from Zimbabwe? Or
no. So these girls are from all different places. There's one girl from Kenya, one girl is from Ghana, a couple of Nigerian girls, not yet, no Zimbabwean girls yet. But
maybe they don't know, Vimbai. You need to make people know. Maybe they don't know. Let them know.
So that's the thing, is that, you know, when you let people know, it becomes overwhelming, and then you don't have enough time to give to each person. You can't give each person the amount of attention they deserve. So I follow my heart. That's the honest truth. If somebody comes across my path, for example, in Zimbabwe, there's a couple. They're not girls actually. There's two young guys whose tuition I've been paying for almost 3 years now. And that was just because they sent me a DM on Twitter. I read the case, I saw the guy's results, and I said to myself, is this guy really not going to go and study architecture because he can't afford to get his writing instruments, So I do stuff like that, but you and I are very spiritual people, so you know that it's very spirit-led. You choose very carefully so that once you're invested in that person, you have the energy to keep going.
All right, so you have hosted a lot of live shows. You have hosted some lifestyle shows as well, AMVCA. Which one would you say was the most interesting and the most challenging for you?
I think AMVCA will continue to be the most challenging because, it was my first time doing a 3-hour live broadcast to the whole of Africa. And I mean, that especially from Nigeria, was tough because at the time, the industry hadn't gotten used to doing those kinds of broadcasts from Lagos yet. And, it was a whole new world for me as well because I knew the biggest names in sort of film and television, but I didn't know all of them. So literally it was like going back to school for me, studying who everybody is, watching all the movies that were nominated, writing my script, researching my script, all of that. So I think to date that because that schooled me so hard, I take all the lessons from that experience forward. So nothing else seems quite as challenging because I think the first time is the hardest. All right. So that's pretty much what I was saying is that because I think the first tough experience was such a big one, it makes every other challenge and encounter, pale in comparison. But I go in with the same attitude as though I'm doing this big, big, huge show, if you get what I mean. So even if I'm booked to host an event for 50 people, I still go in with that. It's the AMVCA's mentality.
It was huge. I was there. It was huge.
Yeah.
And you did it well done. And the most challenging in terms of not AMVCA, but in terms of you settling down in your career in Nigeria.
Yeah, definitely. It was because it was a first and it was a big first. I didn't audition for it. It sort of just fell into my lap. So it was, I wasn't even ready. I wasn't ready, but it made me ready. Yeah.
So how long was the rehearsal for that?
Probably a couple of hours. Because it was everybody's first. Yes, because it was everybody's first. So not only was it my first time hosting something like that, it was the first time they were ever doing the AMVCAs. So they were learning as well. We were all learning. So
how did you scoop that by a Zimbabwean girl in Nigeria with all those Nigerian girls?
I don't even know. At the time, I was still living in South Africa. So they actually flew me in from South Africa to host. But they just... they've been watching my work on Stargist and they just felt like I could pull it off. So they actually held an audition in Nigeria, and several people auditioned. And even after that, they just said, no, we're sending an email to this girl in Joburg. So that was really incredible.
Okay, and then on a personal note, like living in Nigeria, what are some of the challenges? We're looking at what is happening in the world. Are there also issues in terms of you being a foreigner, when you go into some places, Black Lives Matter? I mean, that's what's happening in the world. Yeah. You are living in, of course, a Black nation country, but are there any challenges that you're facing also as a foreigner there?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think Nigeria is one of the most welcoming places I've ever been to, I've ever lived. If anything, being a foreigner is an advantage here because, Nigerians love foreigners so much and are very hospitable. So I wouldn't say, I think my biggest challenges initially were just sort of getting used to the
culture.
environment that's always on the go. Like everything is always going, especially in Lagos. You don't get a moment to catch your breath. It's such a fast city, and there's traffic. It can be very draining and exhausting if you don't protect your space and just know when to tell yourself, I need to stop, I need to take a break. So I think that's something I still struggle with, to be honest. Lagos, I'm based in Lagos. I'm in Calabar right now, but I'm based in Lagos, and Lagos is fast and furious, that's for sure.
Can you now drive in Lagos?
Oh yes, I've been driving in Lagos for almost 3 years. Yeah.
Kudos to you.
You got to.
I can't. Okay. So Vimbai, Nigeria is now your home.
Yeah.
Calabar is now your home. How is married life treating you?
It's great. It's great. I'm not complaining.
Okay, that is so awesome. Yeah, I mean, we are great. I mean, we are honored to catch up with you today. It has been a great opportunity, and just tell your hubby that I appreciate that he let you do this with me for about 30 minutes, and we are proud of you as Zimbabweans. I will speak on behalf of many Zimbabweans. We are proud of you. And yeah, I mean, the sky is only the limit for you, girl, and keep doing it well. Yeah.
Thank you, Josey. Thank you. I really appreciate the invitation to join you today. I've loved this conversation. I also appreciate all the work you're doing, not just with your platform, the digital platform now, but for many years. I think you're one of our most under celebrated people, and I think we need to change that, because you have done such incredible work, and you have access to a lot of places that most people don't, and that's just a testament to the fact that you are an excellent person. So thank you for making it easier when you go show up somewhere as a Zimbabwean, and then they say, yes, we know a Zimbabwean called Josey Mahachi. It makes life easier for everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vimbai. And before you go, any last words to our viewers today?
I think my last words are, we're in a very tough and trying season. Nobody is exempt from it. It's just some people are better at coping than others, but the truth is we're all under a lot of pressure. And I just want to urge everybody to be easy with themselves, to be gentle with themselves. It's a global pandemic. It's still a global pandemic. As much as people are opening up and businesses are opening, people are going back to work, it's still a pandemic. So take it easy. We're gonna come out of this, but keep fighting. We're gonna come out of this with wonderful testimonies.
All right, thank you so much, Vimbai, and good to have you.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
All right, bye.